Wonderful location here in Bad Griesbach in Bavaria for the Knaus Open Day. And this is their van Ti Plus as from 2020. And we're not even halfway through 2019 yet, although it probably will be by the time I post this. This van, this motorhome, is on a MAN base, as you can see. I think it's fair to say that Knaus is the first large motorhome manufacturer to use this new MAN base, which came out in January 2018. So let's have a look inside the van. Now it's this nice sunny day, which gives us the benefit of, well, there are some shadows and things in the vehicle, but I think you can see more when the van's outside and in, shall we say, almost practical usage than you can see when it's in a hall, as is the case in Stuttgart or Dusseldorf or somewhere like that. Let's go to the back. Give you a little overview here. And come back to the front. Now, this, as you can see, it's on an automatic basis. That's what most people tend to want. There is the problem, in my opinion, the problem, although others may disagree, that you've got the brake on the left-hand drive. Brake is on the right-hand side, and I personally would prefer that not to be in the gangway and to be on the left-hand side in the traditional place for it. But is there room? Well, there's not a lot of room down there, and I'm doing a Mercedes conversion at the moment, and I have that very problem of where to put the brake. So that I understand. Now, in the dash up there, you've got, I think that's pretty practical, in my opinion. You've got there the 12 volt plug. You can, over there you've got a USB. Now, I don't know about the case of MAN, but I have seen articles in the press and other places about USBs in vehicles not being very good, and they may keep the charge if you're using your telephone as a navigation, for example, but they won't actually charge it. So it's down to 25%. You got your sat nav on. It might keep it at 25, but it won't actually charge it. My experience, incidentally, in the Fiat Ducato was just that. So I'd like to point that one out. I don't know the situation in MAN, so I hope that MAN won't be upset with me for bringing that one up. Now, one thing I do really appreciate is all of this light. But one thing I need to point out, when I came into this vehicle, the blinds were drawn like that. When you have a hot day like today, now yesterday it was such a situation for me. I have never had perspiration drop off me like it was yesterday. I even put a towel on the table. It was roasting. And what you do if you got these things, you must open the window here a little bit, allow air to get out, or something like that. Otherwise, this can buckle. And if there's one thing you got from this film that's important, it's that little thing there. Remember that one. Hot air will build up. Right, let's have a look in here. Now, presumably, that's a space for the table. Television. Sorry, table's down here. Yeah, maybe. Got to put a bracket in or something like that. Table on the table front, I think is very small for a vehicle of this size. Of course, remember, it's a compromise. Everything is a compromise. And it depends what you want. A two-person van, maybe for two people, that is sufficient. Oh, I'll tell you what, seeing as I'm here as well, let's get some of these details out. So I'll read this to you. There, you can see that. 91,500 euros. Kick-off is 67,000. And this is 7 meters long, 220 externally wide, 290 high, internal height 196, internal width 205. But certainly I've got a feeling of a lot of space and room in here. Let's get this open. Now, Knaus make these sort of extra wide drawers. Now you may say, well, I'd rather have two drawers across rather than have one big one. Yeah, there is a problem. Obviously, not only would two drawers lead to greater cost, but they also lead to less room, and you can have a divider in. So, anyway, depends what you want really. Here's the fridge. It's a Thetford fridge, standard. A lot of space in there. Now these thin fridges I think are pretty good because they are real space savers in a van, in my opinion. Let's have a look up here. So the bed's over 2 meters, 205 if I remember rightly. Locker's only at the back, but the problem with things like this is that things fall out, as I have discovered in my own van. Of course you can put a pillow or something in there. Alternatively, you could use it as a bookcase, couldn't you really? Because I mean, let's face it, there's probably no, let's see what the depth is. There's the depth. What's that? It's about 4 centimeters or so. So books could go up there. You've got electric points at the back, which is a good thing if you want to charge your phone. Also, look at this. You've got a place to leave it up here. Of course, there are arguments against charging phones next to the bed. So, but right. If you set the alarm off, for example, you can turn the alarm off and go back to sleep again. Right, sensible sliding door here. Also, if you don't want the toilet to get wet, you can slide this across here, like that. This comes across like that, and it keeps the toilet dry. Although personally, I'd leave it open like that, you've got more space. What do you think about having a air vent, what's the word, skylight in the toilet? I think it's a good idea actually. I like to actually vent the place out a bit afterwards, but if you've been using, particularly those who use hot water, I don't use hot water, I use cold, but that is the thing. Now it's get in. I've got all this space now, and look at all this space I've got. Sorry, put that up. All this space around me, and so I think that's quite good. I'll close the door. And now you mightn't want to get some of these things wet, which would be understandable. Space there for your cosmetic stuff, your soaps and what have you. Could be a bit deeper though, it's only a couple of centimetres there. Oh, and place for towels as well. Oh, you wouldn't want to get the towels wet. And one of these, I like these things. Hang your socks up there. This van's parked at an angle. They haven't used chocks or anything to keep it up in position, so that's a little bit of a problem. I think we've all parked our vans at an unfortunate direction sometimes. You know, particularly there's this thing about camping and parking. Now, camping, to my way of thinking, is you're on a campsite or somewhere you should be, and parking is really somewhere you might be sleeping the night there, but you're not really, how should I put it? You don't want to abuse the environment, let's put it that way. And in the case of not wanting to abuse the environment, you know, sort of, you're sleeping in the street, off-street camping, something like that, then you certainly can't be using things to change the angle that your van is parked at. So, now I'm presuming that this gimbal here has been set correctly, and therefore, at the moment, that you can see the angle that the van has been parked at. Right, so what do you think of this then? Nice? Not nice? Do you like it? Don't like it? Yeah, you'll take it if it were free, but not if it were 91,500 euros. Write your comments below. Oh, but before doing that, you might want to see the garage. This is where the gas goes, of course. Oh, this is really important. I want to show you this. Sorry. This is a this thing here comes out. This slides out, and therefore it makes it much easier to lift up the gas. Much easier. I mean, you get to a certain age. I mean, certainly I don't want to be manhandling gas bottles around. The average buyer of a van is in fact much older than I am, so I certainly wouldn't like that. Now that is quite magnificent. Look how much space there's in there. We've got another one here as well, also another Van Ti Plus. Alright, we'll have a quick look in this one as well. Now this is also on the MAN. This one here in this condition, 97,250, kick-off price is 71,000 euros. And what this has is a side bed. But we'll do that one in a separate film in more detail. Right, so that's a TGE 3.180 Van Ti Plus on an MAN basis from Knaus. So this is me in Bad Griesbach, Germany, signing out.